Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today our primary goal is something like getting this army from right here. No, not that, the Chaos Dwarf army under that one. You know what I'm trying to click on. From there to somewhere over here abouts. And also, I suppose, dealing with internal stuff, generating conclave influence, whatever. But mostly, again, we have an awful fucking lot of walking to do. So my guess is that the smartest move here is going to be to head to the coast and then next turn do an underway move beyond a couple of these rivers. Does seem a little dangerous for the underway to go under that much water, but that's sort of what it's for. That's what it's all about, right? So we're headed back to the Black Fortress to quick recruit something. And we definitely need to be thinking about that third army. If we're gonna build one, the time for actually getting some benefit out of it is pretty now-ish, but also, do we really need to? I don't feel like we're being pushed in the direction of having to do that, so I don't know. Sure. Cost of shortcut event down. Alright, Skaldor's to Bronze is doing that stuff. We have all of our convoys are live right now. One of them is about to complete. Gaining a bunch of labor, and we have all of our labor regions accepting. You know what? Okay, just wanted to make sure there weren't any other notifications hiding underneath that one. This is definitely worth doing. And then this area could have a money pit. Yeah, all that stuff matters. At this point, though, to some extent, improving our economy is superfluous, I think. My suspicion is our economy is good enough to get the job done. Ugh, I hate this. Drazoth has contracted a plague from being too close to Glutport for a turn. All right, well, we'll get the details on our turn, I guess. It's not really letting me read the mouse over here. Yeah, and the fact is most of the map is so focused on a conflict that has nothing to do with us that we can just kind of ignore what they're doing. There's only 3 factions here that might matter in any realistic way to us, and we're in a real good position on all of them. All right, let me remember to move this fellow before we end the turn. So we're headed down to this region. What is the best way to get down there without being able to cross these mountains directly? I guess it doesn't really matter. Left and right seem kind of equally bad. Alright, and then, yep, that underway movement is very solid. Apparently, Hawkland was eliminated. That's whatever. Does anybody else have any critical stuff to tell us? +1 unit capacity for Great Tauruses. A convoy was completed. Do we get to see... interestingly, we don't get to see what unit was gained by the convoy that completed its run, but whatever. Everybody's still on their way back. I don't think we need to hire any more masters. I think we have enough. It's just really awkward this time that they ended up cycling the way they did. It's cool. We'll wait 3 turns. So what is the detail of this? Okay, Nurgle corruption up in the local province, but yeah, no actual effect on your units. That's fine then. So I'm pretty sure, yeah. Most significant thing, let's get labor organization and to make those actions even more efficient. Baruch. Take a normal move into the Black Fortress. And there, recruit. We don't actually have to use the global pool here. We can just use the local. That unit is rank 3. Are they rank 3 if we recruit them the other way too? Yeah, they totally are. Okay. So we'll take 2 turns to put together the other Hell Cannon, and then we'll go and menace some Western Dwarves with it. We do absolutely want to recruit this all the way up, or improve this the rest of the way, rather. Sure. Okay, timber armament output up in the same province. This province does have 1 armament building. So we'll go ahead and do that when it becomes relevant to do so. We have a fair amount of raw materials. Also, I guess just like a boatload of gold. This would only cost like 500 labor to rush build. You know what? I'm cool with that. So I still need to actually build the volcanic deposits. That's what's going in that space. Next turn. And then the next upgrade here is almost 4,000. So yeah, I feel like that makes sense to do. The Tower of Gorgoth is pretty close to what will be a frontline with these other dwarf factions. So I think it makes some sense to focus there. We're going to bank resources to do so. Yeah, I'll say the one downside of the way this campaign is constructed, and I get how they were trying to like force you to care about what's going on outside of your little corner a little bit with the trade caravans and stuff, which I still think is a cool system. But yeah, the one like big problem here is just that it is so easy to ignore such a huge amount of the map.
Stroll.
All right, with Drazoth, we're going to head more in the direction of friendly stuff. And in fact, we're plus 130 with these guys. Can we manage a defensive alliance? It would be really, really great if we could, but 5 points of 5 points is very difficult to overcome. The amount of money you have to pay. I was just thinking if we could get them to be allies, then we could replenish in their territory. But it's fine. We'll figure it out. I don't know. Honestly, maybe Drazoth just goes home. So, okay, we're saving all of our resources for improving the Tower of Gorgoth. Yeah, this is super worthwhile. Even more raw materials. Go get them. And we're very close on that. I mean, there's the obvious benefit of coming home that we get to adjust the composition of that army a little bit for the fact that we now have better recruitment facilities. You know what? We should probably just take the most direct route we can to the Tower of Gorgoth, right? The place that we're upgrading right now. By the time, or Tower of Gorgoth. By the time he gets here, by the time our Lord gets here, things should be pretty figured out. I'm going to go ahead and rush that too. All right, convoy completed. Here's a bunch more labor. We're going to need even more of that. So can I make it past the mountains? No, not this turn. And if we're going to spend the turn just moving across flat land, we may as well march along the road here. But yeah, we'll duck under the mountains next turn and head in the direction of the tower. Now remember, we're trying to bank up 900 conclave influence so that we can open up that top tier and buy something out of it immediately. Is there anything else that's like really pressing here? I mean, it would be cool to put together the various recruitment buildings. But honestly, it's more important to save armaments for a manufactory complex upgrade, and then we could just global recruit things from the other regions to our characters here. So, Nabonahid, it's time to go start wrecking some stuff up. Let's open up that path, shall we?
Dumfaumancy. Gott Christas Wanas.
So once again, just for a quick refresh, there's a couple of lesser relics here. Whether or not we put the major ancestor relic of Grungni in the drill, we definitely want to get it at least so that we don't have to deal with additional dwarves of the Grey Mountains during the final battle. The ever-burning helmet of Grungni. Upkeep down, ambush defense chance up is cool. 5 melee attack for every unit in the whole army is certainly not meaningless. And then... So the passive ability is bestowed on all allies within 55 meters of the wearer, and it gives their melee attacks the flaming property and causes them to blind enemies. That seems very good. What does it do if you put it in the drill? Okay, actually it's amazing, but it's amazing early on. So maybe one of these makes more sense to put in the drill. But in any case, we need to get over here. I will say that the lesser ancestor relic of Gazul is not interesting as a claim for yourself. So this could be our 4th drill slot. The focal lens of Morgrim gives bonus range and missile strength to all ranged units in the army. Yeah, this seems great. Okay, yeah, so maybe we're taking the ever-burning helmet, we're taking this as personal stuff, and then we are finishing the drill with the lesser relic of Gazul. So we have to defeat Barden Brewhammer, we have to win a quest battle here, and then this requires us to claim Castle Drakenhof, which we will do by going through the going through the dwarf territory into the vampire territory beyond. That's doable. That's very doable. I don't really think we want to spend resources down here, probably. Do these require, yeah, these require armaments for even their base level. So I guess that we do have raw materials that we don't really have accounting for. Like, we just don't know what we want to do with them. What would I do with raw materials? I would use them to increase my rate of armament gain. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we have 2 slots open. Next turn we'll have 2 convoy masters ready, so we'll wait on that. And we are banking an awful lot of armaments. So Castle Drakenhof is like right here on the map. It's just through this Jufbar territory. I don't necessarily want to go to war with the vampires. I guess we'll have to see how tough they are. We might be able to go to war with them just long enough to take the castle and then bail out, perhaps. Hold on. Before I commit to anything, let's get those convoys running. So I certainly am not spending armaments. I mean, it's gotta be money for labor, right? Grungzint is where we already have a convoy set. Yeah, we should definitely do all of these first. This is a terrible rate of exchange. Then I think this other convoy is going to want to be something else. But I definitely don't want to spend armaments, is the thing. So I guess we're probably spending money for raw materials then. And if we're going to do that, we may as well do it to the position that is furthest away. Not that we need these.
Waluma, les généraux.
Huh, can I actually not? Oh, right, because I'm in March mode right now. There we go. I was going to say, I can't believe I can't jump those mountains, but that makes sense.
Rolden.
Get a little bit better at things that don't really matter very much.
Makazia Faumansi.
So we have our allies' territory between us and the problem. And then, yeah, basically we just hack right through here. Do we have a sense? Okay, they only have 2 settlements. They probably will actually be very easy to wipe out. We can take their castle without a problem. The thing is, I'm a little leery of doing it before we absolutely have to. Like, I think I would like to avoid taking their castle before getting the major battle down. Just because my thinking is... What were we going to do in Carrick Azorn? It was Carrick Vrag where I was going to do something. And now I don't even remember what. I just don't want to, I don't want to have getting the 4th thing for the drill kick us into some kind of unrecoverable endgame scenario. We still have a thing or 2 to do. Let's make sure we can do them. All right, Tsarina Katerin is definitely one of the people that I think we can be most afraid of, we should be most afraid of in this game state. If Kislev decided to declare war on us, it would be really annoying. I don't know how much of a threat it would be to our ability to win, but it would definitely be, like, she would get in the way, she would cause trouble. What's up, Valkia? Nope, I still don't want this deal. I want it less than I wanted it before. Chaos demons, they can't take a hint, you know? So it seems like we want to head more or less directly southeast with Drazoth to get to our little patch of red territory here. Oh, interesting. Something just flipped over to blue. Okay, somebody else grabbed the thing, so the seat necessary to unlock the top tier. So now we're just going to 600, which we will be at presently. What else happened? Okay. Not much of terrible import. We're not even using the labor actions because they just aren't necessary. Is there... None of this stuff is likely to actually be meaningful. Honestly, these upgrades kind of aren't either. Is it sorcery time? Maybe? We hardly have any beasts. I don't want to pick up mandatory service, even if there is useful stuff behind it, because obviously we're trying to bank those resources. So yeah, I guess just some sorcery just to have something to look at, something to work toward.
Stroll.
All right. Fast running over flat plains, still the best way to go here.
Doomleth. At a Dockstock.
Yeah, still the case. I just don't want to. I don't want to mess with anything. Spending more money to build more money buildings.
Skala tadraj kusard.
It makes good enough sense.
Strog.
So at this point, this guy's also just like trying to help us scout out where the vampire armies are and stuff. I don't think we're pursuing any building upgrades right now. I guess, again, we have all these raw materials that I should use on something. What else? What else? Wow, we've actually been, like, very positive on control over here. Just wanted to check in and make sure we were doing okay. So that's already upgrading, and we don't really want to burn below the labor threshold. These are upgraded. Is there... No, there's not really anything to build in these spaces. We can upgrade the Fortress of Vorag, I suppose. I don't know that I think that's terribly valuable. But I suppose at the same time it's better than letting the raw materials just sit. I guess this is a thing to do with them. So we're generating like 50-ish conclave influence per turn right now. Meaning that 12 turns after we land this one confederation, we'll be able to use our cultural power to assimilate the other Chaos Dwarf faction as well. And then that way we don't have to worry about whether or not there's a sort of a late stage everybody competing for your goal declares war on you automatically type thing. A convoy encounter. The day may have just begun, but one of the scouts has already spotted a wide, flat stone platform in an isolated area. A series of 8 steps leads to an 8-sided arena, with grooves carved in the floor to drain the blood spilled. Unmistakably, this is a cornate combat shrine. So we can gain a bunch of experience on our units at the cost of moving this turn. I just don't know that This army's probably strong enough. No delays. Keep moving. Alright, factions are coming in and out of this world all the time.
Let's waddle. Asumor Angas lock.
So through Mount Grimfang and like down... No, this is a dead end. What is actually the easiest way to get to the... Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, our allies are doing a really excellent job. So I guess we want to take the northern pass at this point. We may not have any fighting to do at all.
Rimas Madaku.
By the time we get over here, I'm thinking it's looking like everything that we would have to worry about will already be dead. We're getting closer and closer to an amount of armaments that we can actually use. We also have an open convoy slot here. And no, like, terribly compelling deals left. I guess Trollfjord. All right, we have one more big boost of labor coming in. Let's hope it's enough to... honestly, I was going to say let's hope it's enough to quickly buy off this last upgrade at the Tower of Gorgoth. But honestly, it's not a big deal if it is. Like, it's a single turn's recruitment time difference. It's not like we're actually getting anything out of the units that would be hireable from that building being higher level. And you know, I suppose I could be using, I could be juggling the armament bonuses in the forge, turning them off when we're not fighting, so that I'm generating more bonuses to build buildings with. Seems kind of tedious, though, if I'm honest. Thoughtfully, it would appear, an engineer has come to us speaking of a new innovation for cranes, which should allow us to build even higher than before. But to what purpose do we put these new towers? Construction cost changes. I don't think that this matters terribly. Does that affect... It does affect the cost of the manufacturing complex. Okay, well, let's go ahead and nail that down then. And we may as well take this as well. Even more movement range for our armies starting their turn here. And I don't really want to rush anything.
Anu.
Alright, Drazoth is so close to being back home. In fact, our amount of remaining movement contours perfectly with us not being allowed to get back in our own territory. That's really annoying.
Darister.
Alright, a little bit of heal up time coming soon.
Dromadrazul.
Okay, we're going to start taking mountain pass movement penalties here again, so
Stroll Harry.
let us be cautious. Sure. Chances of plague spreading down, whatever. That's really very, very marginal for our situation. It does seem... I'm a little worried about Kislev being in control of Castle Drakenhof by the time we get here. Because I don't really want to go to war with Kislev over it. That would be not ideal. So, I picked the Kadai Lord, and then we've basically not used any Kadai in battles. We will definitely be recruiting some to play with in these final couple of very, very consequential battles. In particular, I want to see what a destroyer with all of the bells and whistles can do. I don't even know what these Disciples of Ashut guys are doing all the way up north here. Hobgoblins, you know what? Welcome aboard. Numbers are superior. 815 more labor channeled into our coffers. That's pretty good. Do we have another convoy master ready? We do. Well, let's start with that. So, is there not a single gold for labor? No, there totally isn't. Okay, well, I guess at this point I'm willing to do armaments for labor. Maybe. I don't really want to. You know what? It's fine. We kind of don't need the raw materials, but we also kind of don't need the gold. Right, looks like as long as we can keep traveling along a road, the march mode is going to be faster. Okay, here's a question. Are y'all formally at war with Kislev? You are. Okay. So the Black Flag Chaos Dwarf faction is actually having to deal with Ice Bear incursions. It's interesting to note. With that labor delivery, how does that have us set here? We're only a little bit over our over our workload. It definitely makes me reluctant to throw 560 away.
Pescaris.
All right, we can make it to the city with just a normal move, which means we can start our recruitment this turn.
Cinderbrand.
And I think it really is just like dump the hobgoblin cutthroats.
Is Rinkus da Disban.
And then pull in 2 destroyers, because this army loves destroyers. Still 4 turns. That's a little harsh.
Izan Domidash.
If I rush this, it'll only take a single turn off of it, which is not, I suppose, all that compelling. Especially since we don't have any more big bursts of labor coming in anytime soon. Then again, I probably don't need 2,800 raw materials per turn. So it wouldn't be the end of the world if we just weren't meeting our labor thresholds. I'm going to do this.
Qualuma. Legionnaires.
Didn't change the ones that were already being recruited. Okay. But it does give new ones the new duration. All right, well, 3 turns ought to be enough time for everybody else to heal up. Our legendary lord is able to heal basically immediately from pretty much any wound. And then, you know, armaments, like, ideally we would have these other buildings here. Sort of mark out that territory. All right, so 3 turns of sitting with Drazoth. Those hobgoblin cutthroats weren't getting a ton accomplished anyway. They probably receive a charge a little bit better than a destroyer does, but a destroyer actually kills stuff better. And you know how I feel about offense as a kind of defense. Yeah, somebody's going to have to do something about this Tsarina. I fear that it does fall to me. Alright, she's trying to lay an ambush in the mountains. Also, she's conquering our stuff. Like, there are bigger concerns than that, for sure.
Doomskull Key.
So we could head Baruch up toward Karak Ungor. You know, there's no reason to allow these little dwarf factions to live, though. Let's make sure these are eliminated. We'll go worry about everything else later. And then the question, do we turn our hero around and start picking at them? They already hate us so much. It's probably okay to do that. You know what? We will try to... Wow, I am not good at performing hero actions on these high-level targets. Our own hero here is pretty undeveloped. I guess let's take the slightly higher chance that we will wound this guy. Okay. A bunch of stuff happens. Doesn't actually show me. There we go. Wound failure, sadly. We do have our 600... Yeah, we do have our 600 Conclave influence. I think we should probably just do it, right? Let's just grab the Warhost of Jard now. I don't think there's a reason to wait. It is going to screw things up a little bit. So we got ourselves a new province. Was that really it? Just one? We also, you'll notice, are negative on predicted income because we just gained a bunch of armies. So let's go through our armies and see what's what. So here we have Jatan the Black, the legendary lord, at the head of this force. What's your deal, buddy? You're a labor master, Orcsbane. You got a bunch of like very standard things here. At some point, you defeated Imric, which made you better at fighting big monsters. Okay, bonuses versus large. What I'm looking for is kind of like, what makes this guy special? Range up for Iron Demon and artillery units. Ammunition up. Okay, so he is the ranged unit, especially siege weapons guy. Okay, that's fine. This army can stick around, although we're probably going to alter its composition because this is a terrible design. Oh, hey, there's Bard and Brewhammer. I didn't even realize how close we were.
Big on.
Wow, that army is really something. And I just moved Baruch right into him? Shoot. Can I get... Oh, I don't think we can quite make it to reinforcement range. Oh, no. Ah, this is really frustrating. Yeah, I didn't realize how close I was. Okay, can you? No, you have, like, no movement available. Well, we'll offer up a smaller, weaker force, and hopefully Brewhammer will go that way instead. We will get the garrison at Karak Raziak, which is something. We get to bring 27 units to the battle if he does indeed go for that. So I don't know, like, if we run Jatan the Black up there, I won't be in reinforcement range for the battle, but will it... I might draw their attention. I think I'm going to creep up a little bit carefully here. Just be sneaky. Be sneaky for the moment. This army we're keeping. This army is garbage. I am very comfortable fully disbanding this force. Why is it not? There we go. Okay, I can't group select an army that contains characters. All right, got a couple of other provinces. It's breaking up those notifications for some reason. Belagern, Ironbeard, what? Late game, why are you running forces that look like this? I'm not paying for these armies. Dipti, I mean, yeah, I'm not paying for this army either. We're gonna fix this up. Do I want to pass off the Dreadquake Mortar? Yeah, you know what? This army has a couple of, like, interesting units in it. I think what I would like to do is merge Baruch and Dipti, grab the stuff out of this army that we need, and then disband it. And we can afford to wait a minute. Also, apparently this army exists. Definitely shouldn't. Alright, that's enough of you. I wish it wouldn't keep changing my view. Alright, then we have a couple of characters just on the world map. Honestly, we probably don't need them. You, the Centaur, have slightly better map skills. I'm going to get rid of this guy. We'll hold on to the Centaur, though. Alright, diplomatic relations, -10 with the Warhost of Jar for 5 turns. I think it's claiming that I usurped their seats because it turned all of their seats into my seats. And it doesn't matter that we have a diplomatic penalty with them. They don't exist. That really insulates us from the worst penalties there. Control up in all provinces. Yeah, I don't know. Just research something. I think we're probably past the really meaningful ones. We have a convoy overseer here who could still use a skill point. Now we have a bunch of territories that I don't know anything about, so I'm a little worried about that. Let's make sure that we are at least keeping order high in all of them. So the Pillars of Grungni here doesn't have anything really interesting available. Okay, it's just a garrison structure. I guess that's fine. You know what we don't need is this watchtower. There's no reason not to have money pits in all of these buildings. Don't need that. This is just improving the raw material output of those things. That's fine. This is turning raw materials into money, which I actively do not want. We now have this whole region together. I don't know, just boost control. Over here at the Gates of Zhar, we have nothing really interesting going on. I appreciate that they built the tier 5 manufactory complex. I don't know, just give it some defenses, I suppose. What is this building? You know what? Tear this down. We're going to build that. We're going to build the local walls, and then we're going to give it some defenses. May as well upgrade this too. We are not, in fact, going to try to optimize all of the settlements that we own now. We're just going to make sure that most important things are represented, like making sure that we have our trade goods available, and also, buildings related to trade goods that provide other benefits. We're going to call that good enough. I am somewhat hopeful that that quest army will not try us, and we'll be able to just attack them 40v20 at our leisure. Would certainly make my life a lot easier. For some reason, the Ice Court is backing out. Don't necessarily think that's the correct play. Yeah, I don't know what she's afraid of. Maybe she's having other problems, like on the western side of her empire, and she's just falling back to provide force somewhere else. Okay, sure. I was going to declare on you, but that'll work. Oh, hey, they have a lord. Do I want to try to fight this manually? I think I agree with the conclusion that we're going to lose. And if we're just going to lose the units, then yeah, I guess I'll just auto-resolve it. I'm trying to think, like, if we set up, so they have a bunch of slayers. This is a bunch of low defense, high attack units that really get torn apart by, like, gunfire and stuff, but this army really doesn't have all that much gunfire. And then they have some really crappy units that they borrowed from Kislev, and they have some good Dwarven artillery. Cannons, a bunch of field guns. We have the mortar, but yeah, I see us getting torn apart here. I'm just going to take the auto-resolve loss, save us a couple of real-world human minutes, and we will make Ungrim pay in the near future. But that's a shame. I was planning to use those units. The good news is we run a lot faster than he does, so we should be able to catch up. Also, we do have 2 armies in the area. It'll be good to get them off the table, and I'm sure that that one settlement there is the only one they still own. So, the Cult of Morgrim, are they going for it? They are fleeing, in fact. Okay. I guess we are going to get to do that easy. Traversing the realms is hungry work, if the demons we've encountered are to be believed. So, a bunch of chaos guys against the army that has some guns, many centaurs, some ogres, some vargulfs. We should be able to win this fight. I'd rather not lose my man-eaters, so they think this is going to be a close defeat. Okay. I guess we'll have to fix it. I think we should be able to win this. A lot's going to come down to good rear charges. We got to make sure that we're hitting the halberd chaos warriors in particular in the backside with our charges and stuff. The hell cannons could be really dangerous, or they might not actually get all that much done at all, depending on how well the chaos forces defend them. Because we can certainly have people like move around the backside and hit them quickly. Then we have a couple units of ogres, who are also big chargy troops. Honestly, it's kind of a big chargy army. So we don't actually have that much in terms of units who are just going to be able to like stand and fight. I kind of want to set up pretty center because we don't know where they're going to put their guns. So I want to spread out my fast-moving units in such a way that we can rush the guns no matter where they put them. And yeah, for the most part, this works. We try to spread out the chargers. Give me the man-eaters on this side as well. Okay, now that we actually get to see our opponents, so we got to watch out for the Chaos Knights. In particular, Chaos Knights with lances can do some real harm to large units. They're basically just in the back. So what I want to do, I think, is let's have basically two flanking groups. Sort of an awkward concept, I think. You lot can kind of like march forward. We don't want to just wait. Not on this one. Because they definitely have the long-range combat advantage. And in fact, they're not marching forward at all, which is smart. That's the right play. Sadly. Okay, you gotta get quite a lot closer before that makes sense. Now, part of what I'm trying to do here is bait their knights into like a charge on the Vargulf that can be answered from the side by these other units. Yeah, you're still positioning just fine.
Let's go, boys!
The knights on the other side aren't biting so much just yet.
This way! Off we go! Rampage this way!
Okay, rampage them, but good. Try to give that enough of a lead. I can't tell if these units are moving yet. Yeah, they're keeping their dragon ogres just kind of like in reserve. They're doing a good job of resisting the urge to run forward immediately. Is that spell still? Nope. Just decided not to. Okay. So over here we can try some of this. In theory, you can issue orders like that. You can queue up orders and do the flanks that way. I'm always a little leery of this because that used to not work. it would it would simply not deliver the last order in the chain if the chain ended with an attack. Hopefully it's fixed now. Okay, we're getting a little something in here. As these other units come in,
Got sound, boys.
alright, so the hell cannons are under attack. That was solid. We managed to pretty well fuck up that unit of Chaos Knights, but now this has become a real tar pit. Let's see if we can pull some of the large units out and focus our ranged core on just kind of burning down whatever's available. Yeah, I don't know if I want you to stay. I guess running away from the combat's a good idea. Have the ogres charge out and then back in.
Looking for me. Tribe on the move. On it.
All right, go get those chosen. Vargulf's doing all right over here. Those Chaos Knights are not actually broken. Important to note. I'm gonna try to pull these units away from. They're both should be considerably faster than the chosen with the halberds. One thing that the melee chaos army does not have going for it is speed, right? Yeah, let's spawn in those Kadai. Do our best to tie up the chosen much as we can, and then we will hit them with the other charges. I'm actually going to have you two kind of like wing around over here. Okay, we're getting some damage. The arrows are, you know, remarkably ineffective. There we go. Charge those guys. Should be able to just like dance all over their lord. Our lord is really taking a beating here, more than I was expecting. What do I want to do with you? I don't really want to have these cutthroats block this approach. These units are mostly doing the thing they're supposed to be doing. I guess I could like have you run around the long way. I just really don't want to. I don't want to block the gun units in particular. Thing is, you're not that fast either. You're just kind of not. It's kind of in an awkward spot. You know what? You will cross people's line of fire briefly. The Vargulf is about to give up because Vargulfs are cowards. A lot of big monster units don't have great leadership, and if you use them like this as essentially like charging cavalry, they kind of get screwy. Okay, my lord is panicking. We have one more use of that ability. As soon as he stops freaking out, we should be able to actually make something of it. Go help with this. So many of their units are so close to dead. It's actually really frustrating. Right, let's withdraw.
Thundering forth.
It's getting weirdly dark. Yeah, we've tossed their lord around a bunch. All right, we're finally permanently breaking some of their units, but gosh, the cost has been high. All right, hit these units in their backs. Finish them. Chaos Dwarf Warriors just kind of stay in. I would like to prefer the Chosen with the halberds, but honestly, I don't know if I want to mess with it. They seem to be doing okay right now. Maybe we just let them keep fighting as they're fighting.
Hungry! Killings! Shad Unazar!
Finish off those Chaos Lords. Or those Chaos Knights. We probably only have to drop like 1 or 2 more before they'll just give up. Volley, volley. Yeah, there we go. All right. Clean up, clean up, clean up. Clean up is the name of the game. Dragon Ogres next, I suppose. We could try to just kill their lord. Ugh, he's really tough to deal with. All right, let's drop our lord's last magic ability. Just kind of in the middle of this hot mess of enemies. I'm going to be honest with you. I did think this was going to go better than it is going. Actually, you know what? Maybe I want you to come over here and provide cover for the ranged. I'm going to ask y'all to do the same. There we go. That's pretty good from that spell. Wow, those dragon ogres are taking no damage. Turn around, turn around. I just realized like all of their units over here are so close to breaking. Just the tiniest bit. There we go. The tiniest bit of flanking fire is enough to break them, and then that caused a morale cascade across the rest of their units who were desperately, barely hanging on. So I was wrong. That battle was way harder than I thought it was going to be. We lost both of the Vargulfs, but we did survive, technically. Grim. That's a grim one. And it seems like our convoys have stopped gaining units when completing runs. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Theoretically, they should still be recruiting up to 20 units. Yeah. I don't know. But let this again stand as a testament to the power of guns in this game. Just firearms units are so fucking good. So technically this convoy is going to keep running, but gosh, they really can't get into any more battles for a very long time. I guess take as much labor out of it as you can. We certainly need it. Yeah, and some stuff went a little sideways there. Some things spiraled. All right. We have a lot of important stuff going on this turn. We have to actually break a couple of enemies down. There's some real combat to consider for the first time in a while, and that is certainly the first thing on our plate for next time, but I think this is where we call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return, we will drive the last of these imposter dwarves out of our mountains. We'll beat up some vampires just because we think their house is cool, and, you know, all kinds of other evil stuff like that. And we'll see you then.